afternoon, guys. It's Michelle here from Kiss by Coco, and I'm coming on to finish cutting a soap that I made yesterday, early afternoon. It's called Plush. It's a really pretty bar. I've already cut some of the bars here, and I just want to show you how they came out. Hopefully you can see the color. They came out pretty nice. I did have some trouble with the colors yesterday, so I had to mix while I was soaping. Mix more colorant, rather. Which, as I'm sure some of you know, can be an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to finish cutting. This is the end of the other end. I'm supposed to be getting a new cutter, and I was going to actually wait to cut this, but you know what? I figure I can't wait all the darn time. So there you go. That's Plush. I think it came out really nice despite the color challenges that I was having. But I also wanted to talk about the whole idea of making your soaps, unmolding your soaps, or the actual action of making the soaps, unmolding the soaps, and then finally cutting the soaps to get the curing process started. A lot of times we get very impatient and end up cutting some bad bars just because we were just too patient, so impatient. Like right now, this soap is a little bit softer than I would like, and as you can see, I'm sliding it off of my blade here. And then what happens is, because it's still a little soft, especially with milk soaps, because I did make this, I do have a little bit of, you can see the spots for the color, but I don't know if you can see that that trail in the soap, and it's just like a marking. It's showing that it's still a little too soft. I'm going to continue to cut it just because I know how to handle that. But if you want to minimize that look in your soap, or minimize having to come back and clean all the time, I would suggest unmolding, you know, within the 24-hour period. And I know for a lot of us, we're so anxious, especially when you're getting better at making your soaps. You get very anxious and you want to go ahead and cut them. Well, of course, that comes with consequences. I am like a living witness of it. I'm kind of living that right now. So, you know, the best thing to do is wait at least 20 hours. If you can't wait the whole 24, at least wait 20 hours or 18 hours. And then after that point, once you unmold it, let it sit out and air dry a little bit more. And then from there, let it air dry for about, maybe, I would say 3 hours or 4 hours. You can even put a fan in front of it. My soaps, I no longer allow to go through the gel phase because for me it's not necessary. And also they're milk soaps, and I just don't want to take a chance with messing anything up about my soaps. So I put them in the freezer, or I put them in the refrigerator, but what I do is I just prevent gel. So I would suggest you guys just waiting. Have the patience to wait. Find something else to do. I'm a graphic designer, and I have many clients. Of course, that stuff keeps me busy, but sometimes I'm out of things to do, and my team handles it for me, so I can go and make soap and things like that. But you know, just find something to do. Put in a movie, put on a timer or something. I would highly suggest it. Okay, but don't cut. Try your hardest not to cut your soaps too early because it's just too much of a hassle, trust me. What I also suggest is to have some soaps already made like ahead of time so you can get that whole thing out of your system to cut a soap. So just have some other soaps made up, you know, about 3 batches made in advance, and then you can just cut you some other soap while your other ones are curing or setting up in the molds. But again, guys, what I suggest is just go ahead and unmolding it within 20 to 24 hours. After you unmold it, just let it sit as a log for an additional 3 to 5 hours and let it air dry. Let the the moisture get out of it. Then after that, still come and check it. And from there, just go ahead and start your cutting once you notice that it's really nice and hard. And when you're cutting, take your time. If you have a handmade cutter like I do, or a log that's holding my soap for me, really take your time. Or even if you're just cutting with a knife, like I used to cut, take your time. Don't have a whole bunch of distractions. Even if you get really used to these came out so pretty, the whole feeling of cutting your soaps, still take your time. Or you can, of course, just go ahead and purchase one of those cutters that I may end up purchasing. Just cutting my sample bar off, which always messes up. Oh, that actually came out. I have a little air pockets, but that's fine. It's all soap. And here's my sample stuck on the back. And try your hardest, especially when you're slicing, and if you have softer soaps, don't pick it up and move it and do all that stuff and make a mess. Focus on being as clean as possible with this stuff, and that means handling it very, very carefully. This stuff is expensive. Soap making is very expensive. And this will be a sample. I think I'm going to make another batch of this because this is very pretty. I believe it's going to sell really well. But try to be as clean as possible when you're doing this stuff. It makes for a better time with your soap making, and cleaning up. And it's going to put you in the mentality of, I need to be careful. If you're cutting your soaps and you have a whole bunch of soap still on your hands, that means you need to stop and just put the soap away, or keep it in a dry area for another few hours or maybe a day, and then come back to cut it. Take it from me, guys, I know. So I'm going to weigh out all my ingredients to make some bubble bath bars, and I'll be back later to show you guys what I come up with. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.